this segment should be about how BYU went on the road and beat a very good Cincinnati team and did so handedly. But I want to be very clear to BYU fans, to Utah fans, to Arizona fans, to Cincinnati fans, to UCF fans who are members of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. This conference stands with you. The Big 12 stands with the, quote, Mormons, which Cincinnati chanting F the Mormons, yet another fan base who wants to attack the religion of a university, the faith of a university, the faith of players on the field. I can't imagine the strength it takes. It's so interesting to me for somebody who hosts a Big 12 podcast. I never thought that I would, have this role of trying to police a conference, or at least bring awareness to a conference of just don't bring religious hatred into football. Imagine playing a game, a sport, and someone is attacking your faith and your beliefs from the stands in herd mentality. That's what BYU fans deal with. That's what Cincinnati fans who are members of the church, who are LDS, who are your, quote, Mormons, that's what they deal with when F the Mormons breaks out over a college football stadium. And I think it should be very clear from the Big 12 that, all right, we saw this from Colorado. We've seen it from Arizona. It's happened at Stanford or Oregon or wherever, that when you do it in this league, there is a zero tolerance for religious hatred. Because again, if it was F the Catholics, F the Baptists, F the Jews, F the anybody else, it would immediately be a penalty on the field. There would be some instant repercussion, some instant consequence. And that's where the Big 12 is going to have to move. Because if you find Cincinnati, and you should, the same way you find Colorado, I take this very seriously as someone of faith myself, and you should find them. But those kids who don't know what they're saying, who don't know what they're chanting, the drunk 21-year-old, the drunk 22-year-old, they have no idea what they're spewing. They don't have to pay that $50,000, $100,000. They don't feel that in their pockets. They don't feel the effect of that. The university does. And it's the same thing as when a school is fined for rushing the field. The students don't care. They still rush the field. It's not that rushing the field and religious hatred are the same thing, but it's the fact that the fine is not felt directly by the students. At least they don't feel like it is. Yeah, it's in your tuition, no doubt, but they don't see it directly go from my hand to the Big 12 conference, and it should. And moreover, Jake Hatch, he tweets, F the Mormons chants tonight at Cincinnati's crowd. A fine coming from the Big 12 if precedent holds from the Colorado situation earlier this year. Do you understand? Like, I was told by a source on site that the university at Cincinnati, the PA guy, had to make an announcement to calm down the Cincinnati fans from throwing stuff on the field or chanting these things. This is the same group of people who came into your school this week. And I'll read this verbatim. Ahead of BYU's game, this was shared by Carter Bennett on Twitter. It says, ahead of BYU's game with Cincinnati on Saturday, the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints sent a 27,000-pound food donation for Cincinnati's on-campus Bearcats Pantry to support students facing food insecurity. It's the largest single donation in the pantry's history. What I call for is not just accountability. What I call for is not just the Big 12 standing up for BYU, standing up for a faith, standing up against religious hatred. What I call for is the ignorance to be expelled, for the ignorance to be cast out, and for the ignorant to be educated. I hope the Cincinnati kids who are in the student section, the men, the women, the adults who were at the game who chanted these things, see stuff like this. They understand the effect that BYU, the church, the people have had on their university. The hungry students on their campus that could be in that student section chanting these things, for all I know, will be fed because of the love and the hospitality of a faith. This isn't, and you know what? This isn't about BYU. This isn't about BYU. This is about Utah. This is about Arizona. This is about Baylor. This is about UCF and TCU and Texas Tech, the members of the church who support those schools, who support those student athletes, who support those people. This is about a faith. It's about discrimination having no place in the Big 12. And man, what's wild to me is how, like, the low-hanging fruit of here's what you have to do. This is from Derek Paulson. He says on Twitter, just substitute BYU for Mormons and nobody bats an eye. F BYU. F BYU. Don't clip that. Don't clip that. I've heard Utah fans chant that. I've heard plenty of fans from other fan bases just chant, F Baylor, F TCU, F Texas Tech. And when you do that, hey, boss, it's not my personal deal. I don't love that. Like, I'm not going to say F so-and-so. It's just not my vibe personally. Not how I like to conduct my business. But if you want to do that as a 20-year-old in the student section, you be my guest. And here's why. Because it's not religious hate. It's not discrimination. It's not something that is offensive. It is looking at the other side and saying, I don't like you, in a way that I think is vulgar and crass and doesn't really have a place. Like, I don't think it's going to help you at all. It's like when they chant overrated. You've diluted your win. Hey, you guys are overrated. Okay, you just beat the team that's overrated. It doesn't make any sense. F so-and-so. If I'm the left tackle for Cincinnati or for Arizona or for Colorado or for West Virginia and my fans are chanting F TCU, I'm not like, yeah, man, I'm playing better now, baby. I think that has no place. But you can do it because you're not attacking somebody's eternity. This is more than just, these cute BYU fans. Like, this is a way of life for people. Religion's a way of life for me. We don't say, and look, again, you can sit in your glass house. That's the way I'm going to put it. And you can say, the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, the Mormons, if you want to call them that, they're weird. Well, dog, look, that you can, in your free time, if you want to make fun of religions, if you want to make fun of how people value their eternity and value their faith and value what they want to believe in, that is between you, yourself, and that's all. But at the second you bring it into college football, there is just not a place for that in the Big 12. And I think that this conference should once again stand tall, stand firm in saying, hey, you can sit there and say that the Baptists are weird, man. They're weird. Are you dunking somebody underwater? What? Hey, the Church of Jesus Christ, they're weird, man. They're weird because the Joseph Smith thing. It's like you have the personal right to say that. It doesn't belong in a college football game. And chanting to F that group of people has zero place in the Big 12 conference. And again, as somebody who's not a member of the church, but as a member of faith myself, I think until we have eradicated this conference-wide, then we have a problem. We have an issue. And it needs as much awareness as possible. And I'm happy to be the guy of faith myself, to bring it to the forefront. I hope that they're fined, and I hope that every bit of that fine goes back to the church. That'd be the best way for the Big 12 to handle it. And I hope from now on, a penalty on the field is enforced for religious hatred. It should be. Otherwise, this won't go away. We stand with you, BYU. We do. This has been and always will be Locked On. Thank you for making this your first listen every single day. Dose Grande.